Hi class, welcome to week 3. This is Professor Gleich. This week we'll learn about 3 different categories of mental disorders, including dissociative disorders, somatic symptoms, and feeding and eating disorders. This module covers the dissociative disorders, specifically dissociative identity disorder, which was formerly known in the DSM-4TR as multiple personality disorder, dissociative amnesia, and depersonalization derealization disorder. Learning about somatic symptoms and related disorders will include somatic symptom disorder, illness anxiety disorder, conversion disorder, and psychological factors affecting other medical conditions and fictitious disorders. You are then exposed to the more common feeding and eating disorders of anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa, the disorder of binge eating disorder, which is a new diagnosis in the DSM-5, is also included, along with pica, rumination, and avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. The competency-based assessment model highlights cultural, social, and environmental factors influencing the diagnosis of these disorders. The reading this week will include your Psychopathology textbook by Gray and Zide, Chapter 9, Dissociative Disorders, Chapter 10, Somatic Symptoms, and Chapter 11, Feeding and Eating Disorders. You should also review the PowerPoints for these chapters. In the DSM-5, Section 2, you'll go over dissociative disorders, which is pages 291 to 308, somatic symptoms, pages 309 to 328, and feeding and eating disorders, pages 329 to 354. This week you'll have 2 discussion forums. Your initial post for these discussion forums will be due Thursday by 11:55 p.m. and be 400 words. Then you will reply to 2 other learners' posts by Sunday at 11:55 p.m. For discussion forum number 1, you're going to locate a peer-reviewed article on the subject of eating disorders and follow the instructions found under discussion forum 1. For discussion forum 2, you will participate in a forum discussion with your classmates by first identifying 5 symptoms of a depression disorder and then answering the questions that you'll find under discussion forum number 2. In addition, you will have your exam this week. It will be a 37-question exam. The first 35 will be traditional multiple choice questions. Number 36 will be somewhat like a fill in the blank. You will have drop-down answers to 14 questions. And then number 37 will be an essay, and it is the difference between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 disorder. In addition, this week, you are given the DSM-5 case study paper. This case study paper information tells you to start the assignment at this time. The assignment is due at the end of week 7, and you're supposed to select someone you find intriguing and famous to write about for your DSM-5 case study paper. This can be a celebrity, an actor, actress, musician, athlete, politician, historical figure, or a criminal. The goal of this assignment is to give you an opportunity to study a client, which in this case will be a famous person, in depth, assess the client's functional strengths and deficits, and keep the following in mind as you select the person you're writing about. Do not select a friend, family member, or relative. In keeping with the NASW Code of Ethics, indicate in your introduction section of the report that the person named in your paper was never evaluated by you. Indicate that you are using this as a course assignment as part of your professional training and that you, at this point in your professional development, are not qualified to conduct psychological evaluations. Gather data from a variety of sources, including books, popular magazines, internet sites, television interviews, or podcasts. The paper will utilize the APA 6th edition style for citations and references, and there is a rubric to follow. I'm going to go over the rubric right now, but in addition, I gave you an example paper to look at as well. So please use both the rubric and the example paper to help you with your case study paper. The rubric, the first possible points is 3 points, and that is the client introduction. In that section, you should include an introduction with the ethical disclaimer we just talked about, the demographic information of the client, the presenting problem, the reason for the referral, and cultural and spiritual factors. The second section of this paper is for 4 points, and it's a mental status exam. Look at the information you utilized in week 2 for the mental status exam to fill out this section of the paper. The mental status exam should include a general appearance and behavior, orientation, attitude, health, activity level, speech, level of consciousness, affect and mood, thought, content, and form, preoccupations, hallucinations or delusions, or any suicidal or homicidal ideation. The next section, which is worth 4 points, is the DSM-5 diagnosis. You'll have a DSM-5 diagnostic code, a diagnostic criteria met, differential diagnostics that you ruled out, and a citation for the DSM. I will also put up a slide that gives a variety of DSM-5 diagnosis so that you can look at that as well. Next section is worth 5 possible points, and it's called the competency-based assessment model. It should include the ecological perspective, the strengths perspective, and the system theory applied. All of those are covered very well in chapter 1 of your textbook. Next, you'll write about understanding the client, the nature of the presenting problem, the current life situation, and the client's contact and social support network. In addition, you'll do a biopsychosocial graphic representation, and these are cited throughout your textbook. The bio, the psycho, and the social intersecting Venn diagrams is what you should utilize for the biopsychosocial graphic representation. It is also in the example paper. Next, you'll have a conclusion. You'll write about the social worker's role in assessment. You'll also do the practitioner reflection. You'll do your personal reflections and discussions on how you will use this information in working with clients. And this will be worth 2 points. In addition, the last section will be worth 2 points as well, and that's the formatting of the paper. The length will be 10 to 12 pages, including the biopsychosocial diagram. You'll use APA formatting. You'll have section headings. You'll have a reference list, and your paper will be written at a graduate level. The total possible points for your paper will be 20 points. So if you have any questions about this week, about the exam, or about the paper, please feel free to email me at lgleich, which is GLEICH, @aurora.edu. You can call or text me on my cell phone, which is area code 847-833-2907. We can meet on FaceTime, or we can meet in an Adobe Connect chat room. Thank you so much, and have a great week.